it's your girl, Deshonda Carter, but you can call me DC. Thanks so much for tuning in today to my show, When the Blue Comes Off. Sit back, relax, take notes, do what you like, and let's get into it. Hey everybody, it's your girl Deshonda Carter, but you can call me what? DC. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hope you didn't eat too much. But as we approach this holiday season, I am asking that you keep the New York City Department of Corrections family in your prayers. They are going through a very difficult time right now with the extension of tours, the potentially not getting vacations, just so many different things that have changed throughout the department from my tenure of being there. So again, I'm asking you guys to keep the staff and the families of the New York City Department of Corrections in your prayers this holiday season as they make this new transition into the norm of the new corrections. But on a brighter note, stick around. We have a wonderful guest today, retired New York City correction officer, my cousin. She's not my real cousin, but I call her my cousin. So stick around for that great interview. And again, guys, stay safe as always. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my special guest, Jeanette Justice Carter, New York City Department of Correction retired officer. Hey, what's up, Jay?
Hey, cousin, what's going on?
Well, they don't even know about the cousin. You know, I adopt everybody with the last name Carter, and because her name is Miss Carter, we all cousins.
Exactly.
So what's going on with you? How you been?
Oh, life takes us on a journey, and it takes us on a roller coaster ride. But guess what? I've learned to enjoy the moment, and whichever way it flings me, I just go.
So how long have you been retired now?
Wow, I retired in September of 2014, so that's like 7 years now.
Wow, 7's a good number. So what do you miss the most about corrections, if anything?
I miss the whole ambiance of togetherness with the officers, the captains, the depths, the civilians, and even some of the inmates, you know?
So when you came on the job, what would you say? Where did you retire from?
I retired. My whole career, I did it CIFM slash EMTC.
Slash 76.
Right. Slash.
So you did your whole career there.
Yes, ma'am.
And how was that for you, coming out of the academy and entering that world and spending that great length of time there?
Truth be told, I wouldn't know any different because that's the only place I ever worked. But when we did go on TSOs to other facilities and other courts or things of that nature, I noticed major differences, and I was just glad that I was there.
Okay, so what made you take the correction position, the test, the job? What led you into that line of work?
Well, I actually started out as a paraprofessional in a classroom with size 7 emotionally disturbed children. And my ex-husband, well, I don't consider him my ex-husband because he's still a good dude, you know. So my former husband, that sounds better.
Okay.
I was going to take the test when our daughter was born in 1980, but he told me if I take that job, he would leave me, and I didn't want to be a single parent. So I waited until February 1990 and took the test. And I just needed a growth period in my life to make money to be now I was a single parent. So I needed a certain kind of income to provide for my 3 children. And I went from a paraprofessional to school safety, and then I took the test and became a correctional officer.
So there wasn't no law enforcement in your background, nothing. It was just basically you took the job to sustain a good income and benefits for the family.
Absolutely.
So while you were in corrections in CIFM, EMTC, what would you say was the most difficult situation you had to endure while being there?
Well, we all hear the term new jack. And you have to, as a new jack, you have to prove yourself, and on many occasions, the old timers would put us in positions where we would have to prove ourselves. And I guess I passed the test because I started being connected to a lot of old timers, and that meant a lot to me, because coming from the streets, you don't know what to expect in jail, and they guided us throughout, the do's and the don'ts and the shortcuts that we shouldn't take, and always have your integrity at the first and foremost of whatever you do. And that really helped me in that area.
So there wasn't anything that was in a negative light that ever stood out to you in corrections?
Of course. In life, you can't have a positive without a negative. Okay. That's just how life goes. And, I didn't have no connection, so to speak, in corrections. So certain people got picked over certain people because of their connections, and it wasn't because of your merit or anything else. Sometimes it was because of your merit or the lack of. And that was kind of frustrating, and then the wheel, being a single parent, raising 3 children, coming from the school system, to having to work all the tours, get stuck on tours, not be able to pick my kids up from school, not be able to spend the holidays with them, because now I'm working in a field where it's 24/7, and not being able to get those days off that I wanted. That was very frustrating and negative to me, because I didn't have the pull. I wasn't a favorite of personnel who schedules all your days off and your tours. Like the hardest tour for me sometime was the 3 to 11. And one quick story about that. I never got a split tour off my 3 to 11 for the first 5 years. And the first time I got a split tour, I'm working in the mess hall and I get injured. I'm like, I don't want to go out. I want to keep my split tour. This is the first time I get to go home early.
Right.
And, so that was kind of difficult. The negative part of it,
So, I don't know. Are you keeping up with what's going on in corrections currently?
Yes.
And how do you feel about that?
I'm saddened for a lot of reasons, but the main reason, when you go into a facility, you want to come out the same way you went in. And so many officers are not coming out the same way they went in. And it's like, where's the protection for them? Mm-hmm. And that bothers me a lot, because in my years of corrections, there was a couple of incidents. I'm not saying like 5 or 6, but, today, that's all you constantly hear is the officers mangled, the officers' eye socket is torn out. And, that's like, why? Why do you have to go to work one way and come home another? Where's the protection for them?
Right.
So that bothers me a lot.
So if you were to hear a young lady come up to you and say, Miss C, I just passed, or they just called me from my psychological and said, I'm going to go into the next corrections class, what advice would you give them, and would you encourage them to go into this career at this time? And if so, why? And if not, why not?
Like I said, there's a positive and a negative.
Mm-hmm.
I would, first of all, be happy that this person pursued this and got accepted. And I would definitely tell them, make sure you have a good prayer life, make sure you have a good support system, make sure you take good care of your health and know how to write, and just be observant, talk less, listen more, be very conscious of whatever is going on around you, and be safe, because at the end of the day, when you swear in, the last thing you want to remember is, I'm going to get a pension at the end of this. And at the end of that, then my next life starts. So just hang in there, baby girl, if that's your decision.
Right. So out of all of the, well, I can't even ask you because you spent your whole career at CIF.
Yeah.
So you really can't compare and say, well, which facility did you like the best? Because obviously it was all you knew was CIFM.
Yes.
So if you had the chance to stay in corrections, and would you do it all again? With everything that's you in your career, because we know there's a lot of bumps and hills there, would you do it again?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's a great thing then.
Yes, I would, because this is the bright side that, I can speak of corrections. It is an umbrella of a protection.
Mm-hmm.
I got to do mutuals. I got to get time off and spend time with my kids if I did the mutuals the right way. After those first 5 years, things did get much easier for me. And I learned to build my life around my calendar,
Mm-hmm. That calendar book is a Bible. Don't lose it.
Girl, please.
Don't
Once I
lose
had
it.
a dream, I lost it.
Oh,
and I woke up like, wait. Oh, here it is. Listen, because that's how you live your life. And I don't think I could have gone to any other job and did what I did.
Right.
I couldn't get the time off with mutuals like I did. I didn't get all those paid vacations that I got. My uniform allowance, my, holiday and vacation pay. And, it's a lot of perks. And at the end of it, the reason I took this job is because of medical coverage. Mm-hmm. Most other jobs, when you end, you still have to pay all this money for medical services.
Right.
Sometimes it's like $800-900 a month just to have basic medical coverage. Where here with corrections, that's a plus, And then, at that time, all you had to do was 20 years,
Right.
And then you're out, so I would do it again.
Well, this conversation for me is more about all of the wonderful things that you're doing outside, and now that you've retired and taken off your blue. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come back and we're going to talk to my cousin, Miss Carter, and now she's going to tell you what she's doing now that she's taken off her blue. Is there anything you want to say in closing, Jay?
Just be encouraged and trust your gut. Trust your gut in this field. And get around some people who are like you,
All right, guys.
You'll be all right.
You heard it here. So stick around. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk to her about her entrepreneurial businesses and what she's doing. Hey, it's your girl, Deshonda Carter, but you can call me DC. Check out my show, When the Blue Comes Off. We're talking to law enforcement personnel and all blue-collar workers serving the community. You can catch me every Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern on www.totalentradio.com and on demand on Roku from the Ground Up Productions and on my YouTube channel, Simply Carter Corp. Hope to see you there. Welcome back, guys. We're here with my girl, retired New York City Department of Correction Officer, Ms. J. Carter. And we're going to talk to her now about what she's doing since she's taken off her blue. Now, Jay, you have so many things going on. But we're going to start with you being an author. And the first book I think you had out was called Delayed But Not Denied. Let's talk to the people about that.
Okay, well, it's a whole series. It's book 1, 2, and I'm in book 3. And it's people sharing their stories about healing and growth. And I shared my story about corrections. How I went from fired to retired.
Okay.
Because along the way in corrections, I got, terminated. And because I had the right lawyers and the ability to have faith in God, they had to reinstate me and retire me with a disability. So
the termination was based because you were out sick?
Yes. I was out sick. And when I tried to come back, HMD? I forget what it's called. I'm sorry.
HMD, girl. Health Management Division.
Now my blood is boiling when you say those letters. But yeah, they wouldn't allow me to go back light duty because that's what my doctor requested. I had to have a total knee replacement. And it was just a whole mess. But this is why this book is so important, because a delay is never a denial. And I got to tell my story about that. And even though they terminated me, my lawyer said, I don't think so. And they had to reinstate me and retire me with a disability.
Now, that's what I talk about. That's encouragement for plenty of people right now that's going through this issue currently, because they're so scared to lose their job. And, they're going to work every day, possibly in pain, and the threat of, being taken off their not 5 days, 5 and 2 posts or whatever the case is, and they need it. And this is just proof that you have to stick by what's right for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you do the right thing and the right outcome is going to be beneficial to you. You just got to do the right thing. So I'm glad that happened and worked out for you. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to intervene, but go ahead.
No, and that's been my motto my whole life, but I didn't understand it until I did get released from corrections, because, I'm going to be honest, I freaked out, no pension. And I was 19 and a half years into my career and they fired me. I'm like, oh my God. So what corrections taught me was to fight,
Right.
And to write, and I thank them for that, because with the right team, I was able to get reinstated. Now, I thought I was going to lose my home. I didn't have, what else am I going to do to survive?
Right.
I was just stripped. So of course you go through that period of anger, disappointment, regret, and all of that. But the delay was not a denial, and it taught me how to always overcome the next hurdle, because it's always going to be a next hurdle. You just have to have a plan and you have to know how to execute it. So that's what this book is about. And it's a wonderful completion of 15 women telling their stories of how they healed and grew from whatever tragedy happened to them. So you could get this on Amazon, or you could get it on my website, JeanetteCarter.com.
Okay, so they can get all of the books there, or because I think
yes.
Okay, so
yes, I have another one. Well, I have an ebook, and guess what it's called? The Happy Retirement. Won't he do it?
All the time. And tell them why you're happy. Why are you happy? Because I know why you're happy. Because you've been on the move since you retired. That's why you're happy. I know that much.
You know, like the old timers used to say, and I'm not talking about on the job, I'm talking about family members. You do what you have to so you can do what you want to.
Right.
So that's why I'm happy. I did what I had to. Now I can do what I want to. And that's play, because we're created to create, and
Right.
every day you wake up, you have a blank canvas and you get to create whatever it is you want it to be. So that book is teaching people in the age group from 25 on how to prepare for retirement, when you're ready to retire, what to look for, what to incorporate into your lifestyle, and just be happy, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
So now that you have this retirement, you're doing what you want to do. You wrote a series of books, not one, not two, but you're on your third book, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you I don't want to go into the I don't want to go into the candle business as yet. Is that still something that you're doing?
With a passion. With a passion. Because fragrance evokes feelings, and one thing about when I was working in corrections, wherever I worked, that area had to be clean. Nowadays I know you got to be careful with what you bring to your post and all of that, but I was bringing essential oils to calm moods, to clean areas, and I have candles that do that now. So yeah, that's one of my passions. And I'm also in the process of getting my certification to become a life coach.
Okay, so now we have the candles and the life coach. So the life coach, I want to say, kind of comes full circle from the book, because I know when I wrote my book, that was one of the things that interested me in helping people to get themselves in preparation to retire and potentially go into business, right? So
Right.
people don't understand, this is not things that are being pulled out of the sky. These are things that you've done, been doing, and want to continue to do, and help other people to attain this if they're interested in something like this, correct?
Absolutely. Because what we're not taught early on in life is you need a team.
Mm-hmm.
You need a team in life, and you need mentors. You need people who are coaches, because look at all the athletes, look at all the movie stars or whatever in life. They have coaches, people who know exactly how to pull it out of them so that they can get a higher production of whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. And in my coaching, what I like to do is I'm going to deviate a little bit, because in life, you have to go within, right? And you have to identify with that little person that's still inside of you, and how I learned to do that was through journaling, and creatively journal. Put some stickers on some paper, put some paint on some paper, journal about your day, and it's a legacy that you're actually going to be able to leave, because you have documented what you do on a daily basis. So for your generations to come, they get to understand you, even though your presence isn't even here. So that's where I'm taking my journaling, to teach people how to, my coaching, to teach people how to journal through life,
That's good. But I found that to be it's almost like an adult diary, that
Yes,
people don't realize that sometimes we hold things bottled up and we don't have an outlet for it. And sometimes if you just write it out, you see the words on the paper, and you'll find the answer, because it's harder, I think, to just verbalize it, because you're just spewing out the words. But when you take the time to write it out, you get to see it in,
yes,
you know what I mean, in a clearer light, like, oh, Okay. So,
And like God says, write the vision, make it clear and plain. And then say, like, what's really good. This pandemic, that's when I really started doing journaling, and it really brought a lot out. So now this year I look back on what I wrote, and I'm like, wow, I would have forgot that if I didn't document it.
right, right.
So and it shows your growth, in whichever area you want to do. If you want to learn how to sleep better, you can journal about that. If you want to learn how to manage your money, you can journal about that. If you want to learn how to better yourself with relationships, you can journal about that. And you get to see your growth each year, even sometimes day to day. So, like, I always start on a Monday. Well, I start on a Sunday, but most calendars start from a Monday. So what I'll do is I'll take a quote, I'll take a Bible verse, I'll take 5 things I'm grateful for, I'll do a meditation, and then I'll ponder about my day. And I put it down on paper. Now, there's all kinds of ways you can do that. You can do it through using acrylic paint. You can do it through markers. You can do it through stickers. But it's a healing process. And you also get to spend time with your creator, who created you to create. And then you sit back and you look at that and you say, wow, I accomplished that because I wrote that down. I'm still working on this. I'm almost there. This is where I'm definitely heading toward. It's a sign of accomplishment, and we all want to accomplish something.
Wow. That's deep. And again, I just have to say that people don't realize the connection that we have to have. The spiritual connection is not necessarily anything to do with Christianity itself, but the
Right.
spiritual connection is what's very important to your most high, So
Absolutely.
and you have to be able to manifest anything, and like you said, you have to write
Hmm.
it down. You have to write it down. But so where can the
I used
people
to do
go ahead?
I used to do vision boards, and this is why I like planners and stuff now. I walked past the vision board and I almost fell out because I put 13 things on this board. I accomplished 9 of them, and I didn't even realize I did it.
But they were
I
on
was
your
like,
board.
yes. So I was like, wow. So definitely writing down something and pondering over it, and it does become manifestation, you know? So, like someone said, I don't know if it was Bruce Lee or whoever, but they said, whatever you study, you master.
Well, I don't want to say it's who it is because I'm not certain. I don't want to give them information, but I'm sure somebody out there will take the time to Google it and find out who said what. And with that being said, tell the people one more time all your social media and where they can find and purchase your books.
Okay, I'm on Instagram, the Jumpstarter 27. I'm on Facebook, the Jumpstarter. My websites are JANETTE Carter.com. That's where you can find my book and my ebook and some of my essential oils and candles. And my candle website is JUSTUSSCENTS.com.
So, guys, listen, if you want a holistic approach, something that's going to keep you calm from this wacky noise and world that's outside, and you need some oils and some candles to burn, you got to check out my girl, Justice Carter. Not to mention, if you are a woman in need of a book that you could relate to and finding out that you can win You're not the only one out here that's had to struggle. We've all struggled, and we've overcome. So if you're in the mess right now, don't worry about it, because everyone shall overcome. So it's just not your time at this time. But keep writing down your messages and your visions and your hopes and your goals and your prayers, and they'll come to fruition. Just stay strong in what you believe in. Right, Jay?
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better, cuz.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming and being on the show today. I know I had to hunt you down. You got so much going on in your life. But I thank you for taking the time to come and talk with us today. And guys, holiday season is coming up. Make sure you get them candles. Make sure you get those books. And Jay, you have a great day, and you continue to stay safe.
You too, my sister, and you continue to do what you do, because you are touching a lot of people who are touching even more people. So keep doing what you're doing, sis, okay?
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I look forward to bringing you many more, all with positive vibes. Remember, whatever you do it from the heart, with love and passion. Stay safe. Talk to you soon.